Okay, at this time we'll open up the Garden Grove City Council meeting. Ms. Bailey, would you please call roll?
Councilmember Beard.
Here.
Councilmember Jones.
Here.
Councilmember Fawn.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Nguyen.
Here.
Mayor Broadwater.
Here. We did have a closed section, and we have not made a total decision yet. We'll bring it back when we do. Okay, Mr. Kingsley, would you please give us invocation, and Mr. Pham, would you please lead us in a flag salute?
Okay. Please prepare yourself according to your faith. Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us to engage in meaningful discussions. Allow us to grow closer as a group and nurture the bonds of community. Fill us with your grace as we make decisions tonight that affect the residents of Garden Grove. Amen.
Amen.
Please face the flag and recite the pledge with me. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's my understanding that we have a presentation this evening.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, and I'd like Mr. Okereke to make the presentation this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Fattah. This evening, the Garden Grove City Council pays tribute to a very special couple whose constant and meaningful work in the community have earned them the prestigious title of Garden Grove Citizens of the Year from the 2014 Cypress College Americana Awards. Each year, Cypress College recognizes citizens from the 8 surrounding cities that form the college's primary service area at their annual Americana Awards ceremony. Award recipients are chosen based on their humanitarianism, philanthropy, partnership efforts within their communities. At this time, I would like to ask this year's Garden Grove Citizens of the Year, Bill and Sue Catlin, to please step forward. Bill and Sue made Garden Grove their home in 1956. During this time, Sue attended one of Garden Grove's adult education schools, where she trained as a medical assistant. Soon after graduating, she worked as a back office medical assistant for Garden Grove Orthopedics, where she remained for 17 years. After Bill's 5-year military career, he worked at a family-run ready-mix concrete company for 38 years before retiring. For both Bill and Sue, the idea of resting was something that hadn't crossed their minds, and they devotedly volunteered most of their time serving the community in any way they could. The couple divided their time between many different civic groups within and near the city, including Garden Grove's Acacia Adult Day Services, Bosa Grande High School's Band Booster, the Chamber of Commerce, the Elks Lodge, the Emblem Club for the Lamplighters Guild of Chalk, the First Christian Church, the Gem Theater, Southwest Little League, the Strawberry Festival Association, and the YMCA. Their civic responsibilities didn't stop there. The couple also donated their home for the Garden Grove Symphony Home Tour and theater and tea fundraiser, acted as board members of the Social and Community Welfare Committee, served as volunteer judges for Garden Grove's Pride's Awards, and acted as committee members for the City of Garden Grove's 50th anniversary celebration. Their generosity, passion, and spirit of service have been recognized by the many service clubs they represent and by the city of Garden Grove. In 2000, Bill was named Elk of the Month. In 2002 and 2003, he received Elk's Citizen of the Year. In 2005 and 2006, he was awarded Elk's Leader of the Year. And in 2007, he was crowned Garden Grove's Man of the Year. In 1980, Sue was honored with the Parent-Teacher Association's Honorary Lifetime Membership. In 2001, she received the Silver Spoon Award from Garden Grove Emblem Club, and in 2012, received the STEM Award from the Strawberry Festival. Also, to her credit, Sue has been named the Elks Citizen of the Year and Garden Grove's Woman of the Year. Even their home has been awarded an accolade from the City of Garden Grove's Pride Program. Their home won the Home of the Year Award in 1995. Bill and Sue's exceptional service to the city and community goes beyond words and is further exemplified by their selection as this year's Cypress College Americana Awards Garden Grove Citizens of the Year. Their joint efforts to enrich the lives around them is second to none and have not gone unnoticed. At this time, the Mayor and City Council would like to present Bill and Sue Catlin with a resolution in honor of their meritorious recognitions. Congratulations, Bill and Sue.
We have the resolution here for you. We don't want this hanging in your garage. This is a front room resolution. Okay, and I'll read all the whereases. Whereas. Now therefore. We are Garden Grove. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So we need a picture. We need a picture.
Back up.
Yes.
Okay, on the count of three. 1, 2, 3. Let me get one more. Oh, I don't know what happened there. Hold on.
She's got a camera that works.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, at this time I'd like to talk about one of the oral communication, one of the written, one of the consent items that we've got on there, and that is 6J. 6J is doing away with the current 28-house project on the parking lot behind Main Street and not doing anything with Main Street parking lot until we finish up the Imagine Downtown Garden Grove. Let me make sure I get it right. Imagine Downtown Garden Grove project. And that might be 2 years, 3 years. We don't know how long that'll take, but it'll take a while. Now that, I had a number of emails. I had more emails on this than I have ever had in anything in all the 12 years I've been mayor. Now that way you think, well, that's huge. Well, it was 20, but it was still the largest number. So anyway, I read some of them. Some of them were, one or two of them were really interesting. One of the people that sat on the Hoag Foundation that has built that project that looks like a skeleton tower down on Garden Grove Boulevard told me and wrote me a note and told me that I should not build this project. That's what I told her about her project a long time ago. Didn't help a thing. What is not really recognized is that when we get a project or something before us, the decision on whether we're going to pass it or move on it comes after the thing is ready to be built. not before the plans are built, not before we have all the work and everything else. Not until it's all itemized. We take a look at everything and every part of it. Now, that doesn't mean that we're not for it, but it also doesn't mean that we are for it. I don't believe there's anybody here that has taken a position, a strong position, and announced it to the public. I can tell you that in, what was it, 2004, when it was put on the, when it was passed once before with 100 and some units, I wouldn't have voted for it. And I look at this 28 unit job here we're looking at today, and I'm thinking about myself, how many problems there are with that. And one of the problems is, who do you sell it to without telling them they're going to have loud music every night? You know, I mean, it's going to be a hard sale, in my opinion. And so and they said, you know, when I talked to them, they said, well, if you're going to resell it, we'll get somebody to sign that they know about the music in advance. Well, when they resell it, what's going to happen? You know, that's really a hard manner to get into. The one thing one fact, and this is a fact, 95% of the houses sold in Garden Grove in the last 5 years were bought by the Vietnamese. So I would think that that same factor would fit in there. The difference is between Vietnamese and other families, Vietnamese, they don't send their senior citizens off to some home to lay there and die. They keep them at their own house. They take care of their own seniors. And that creates larger populations in the house. My next door neighbor, great guy, wonderful guy. He's got a 3-bedroom, I guess it's 4-bedroom now, but 4-bedroom house, and he's got 7 cars there. Has a long driveway, but it's not long enough. If this same factor would happen here, there's not enough cars to handle it. And where will they park? Well, they will park in the commercial parking space, or they will park out front. Mr. Jones and I talked about this very extensively this week, and we decided that we would put this on the agenda tonight, and we would take a vote on it tonight. Now, I cannot vote. You will not know how I vote. I mean, I just said I wasn't probably for this, but you will not know I vote until I vote. But the truth of the matter is, we probably are going to pass this tonight to get rid of the 28 houses, and we will go forward with the re-imaging downtown project. I want to say one of the cards I got was a card from a guy, and he says, how come the businessmen in Main Street are entitled to free parking when there's no other place in Garden Grove where the parking lots are not owned by the people that own the buildings? And that's the truth. I mean, the best thing that could happen if the owners of the buildings and the retailers put some heat on the owners, let them buy that parking lot. We sell it to them in a minute.
Mr. Mayor, we used to own it.
Yeah, well, you don't now. And let me finish. I will not interrupt anybody, and I got about 22 of you here. So I will not interrupt anybody. But I do believe that they should buy that parking lot, because something will happen eventually to it, whether it's homes, or I would think that it would make a couple nice tennis courts, whether it's fields for football or young people's football or something. They can still cut that parking too and make a lot of those things happen. And in re-imaging the downtown area, those are the kind of ideas that are being proposed to us. So that's coming. Anyway, I just wanted to get that out, and any other council person would like to speak on that issue, you can speak before they speak, because they are going to speak.
I like to speak. I like to speak.
I just want to say that tonight, when I'm voting, I'm going with staff recommendation that we should complete our downtown imagination project. That's important for the city to hear what the citizen has to say or feel about all the development in the city, not just downtown Main Street. The next thing is I want to let those of you that were not here few years ago when the project was voted for of 100 and something homes, it was approved, and there were a lot more parkings needed than the 28 homes now. And that project was the same, put forth by the same builder as the ones here. So just because we're seizing everything, I want everyone to see that that builder did work with the city to try to reduce that project substantially from 100 and something homes to 28 homes. They don't come in, and that's one of the builders that really do cooperate with the city. And I'm glad we're putting it on hold so that we can hear what everyone has to say. It's important not just to hear from the Main Street vendors, but all the citizens throughout the city. And by voting today to seize it and go forward with the Imagine Downtown Main Street, I am not saying no to the project of the 28 homes. I think it should be seized until we get to hear from the citizen. That's it.
Anybody else? Okay, hearing none, then we'll go into oral communications, and we will include the successor agency at the same time. And Virginia Fuller, you are first. It says make me first right here on the card.
Thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak to you about this subject. I've lived here 43 years, been here a long time. I really care about what happens here. And a lot of you have already heard this because I was at the Chamber of Commerce and had said basically the same thing. So I'm going to read it so I can stay on point and do it quickly. I really am surprised that we are addressing this parking lot issue again. I prayed that it had gone away. I'm a homeowner. I care about what happens here. I vote and I pay my taxes. And in the research that I did and listening and really getting into this project, I know that tax money paid for this property, I do not understand. I heard all the words of how it happened, but I don't understand how a piece of property that could be used this way. And I'm just expressing myself, giving my voice to it, because I do want to understand how we could have lost this being a critical piece of our downtown business. We already have multi-story apartment units in our space here next to Main Street, in the Century Triangle across from Costco. And I think that's enough of that kind of buildings in our small downtown concept. I know progress is necessary. I know change is important. A city has to be alive. If it doesn't allow movement, it is subject to death. But I think if you start adding multi-structures in that small space across from Home Depot, it will choke out the Main Street business, because there will just not be enough parking for everybody. And I don't think Home Depot is going to let us use their parking lot. And the people that will buy these units, they'll be in the street because everybody has multiple cars, as the mayor has already said. So they'll be in the neighborhood, and they'll be fighting with Home Depot, and they'll be overusing the property behind Main Street where the college is, and there's just going to be a big fuss going on. I think getting rid of that parking lot is a mistake we can't come back from. We'll lose our historical significance, which I think is what makes us special. We have the Strawberry Festival, we have the car show, we have the farmers market, and all these other special events that happen in and around Main Street. I feel that there is an alternate solution that maybe you probably already considered. And I think if you offer this developer another piece of land, such as the property on the Brookhurst Triangle, it appears to be available. Let him use that property for his job that he wants to build. I don't know if there's anything else going on with that property. I haven't heard or seen anything or read anything about it. We've been praying for a developer to do something with that space. I live on Stanford. It'll be at the end of my street, and I have no objection. We'd like to see something happen there. It's big. It needs something. Or offer them the abandoned steel structure over on Garden Grove Boulevard. They could tear it down and put something special in there. I did hear about the re-imaging at the City Council, the Chamber of Commerce meeting. That was very exciting to hear that something was happening. They actually got money and they're spending it on that subject. And I please give them a chance to finish the project and give them, let us hear what they've come up with. That would be so fantastic for us. Thank you.
John Wildsmith.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council, staff, and citizens of Garden Grove. I'm John Wildsmith. I'm a board member of the Garden Grove Neighborhood Association and speaking for myself as well. I'm very much in favor of the reimagined downtown. I think it's a great project and I think a lot of good will come out of that. But coming from a very old country, I can tell you there are parts of the old what was Britannicus that are protected 2,000 years after the Roman, well, about 1,600 years after the Romans left. And the Brits certainly treasure history. Downtown, Main Street is all we have left. When I came to this town, or village as I like to call it, 35 years ago, there was a lot of history here. We still had remains of the old water tower. The thing was on the ground. I know they sawed it down a few years ago. The footprint of the ladies' waiting room at the station. We had Greenbrier. Of course, that's something private. We had a lot of history here in Garden Grove. All we have left now, apart from the Stanley Ranch and Josh's house, all we have left is... had to include that. All we have left, literally, is Main Street.
We've been looking at Josh's house.
We're going to bulldoze that and... yeah, but literally, why can we not... I have a lot of questions, and I know this isn't a question and answer session, but why can we not draw a line around Main Street and the Main Street parking lot and cut that out of the reimagine? Let's preserve the only bit of history that we have left in Garden Grove. One or two other questions to throw into the air is, why all of a sudden we're calling it the Grove Avenue parking lot? It's been the Main Street parking lot forever. Now it's is it because somebody has put post office numbers on the property there? I don't know. And why a fence? One thing that nobody can find out is why the fence was put there, who put it there, what purpose does it serve? The other thing is that really concerns me, and that is, I think that eventually, if the city decides that they're going to develop the parking lot, I can see us having a referendum on it. I think we'll have the signatures to preserve that as a parking lot for the Main Street. And I think once that is preserved, then I think we can start looking at, a lot of people say that I heard one opinion today that Main Street is a little bit boring, a little bit dowdy. I think it's because people don't have the impetus to actually go and, do something with it. But the neighborhood association would certainly like to help the business people there to improve events and have some festivities down there. One last thing is something that I'm going back into history again. I remember that a lot of, and I can't blame anybody here from 35 years ago, but a lot of things were destroyed in the middle of the night. A lot of things that people wanted to preserve, like the footprint of the old railroad station and the MOD, and there's a lot of things that were here that should have made Garden Grove a little bit like the block. I think we could have done something really fantastic. What concerns me is I fear that one of these days somebody's going to come into that parking lot and saw the trees down in the middle of the night. I really fear that, quite frankly, because I think it would be an underhanded thing that somebody might do. I'm not accusing anybody, but that's one thing that I think we really need to protect against. Protect the trees until we've really decided what we're going to do. But I'd certainly like to see the parking lot taken out of the equation altogether. Thank you for your time.
Russ McDonald.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, staff. Russ McDonald here. I've been a citizen for this city for over 30 years and 60 years in the county. I'm on the 6J for tonight, speaking on Main Street, okay? I, like John there, I would just like to see you guys, it's a very simple thing with this shenanigans here with this parking lot, okay? You want to put it on hold, okay? To me, you're taking away our chance of going after you guys in the ballot, okay? You're going to put this off and just drag it on and on and on and on, okay? Smile if you want, but that's what the truth is, okay? It's real simple. You guys know what it's about. Why not just right now take a vote on it? If you want some money, sell it to Scott. Okay?
I will entertain that as a motion to sell it to Scott. I would love to sell it to Scott.
Yeah, but I mean, seriously though, you guys are going to drag this on through procedure this and procedure that, and heck, some of you guys might not even be on the council when it finally comes time to vote, and half of us will be dead. So it's real simple. Just do it. Just do it. I'm afraid that, like John and you guys are going to come up here and just sneak this in through the back door. Okay. I remember the fireworks and how everybody was halfway, and then my good buddy, which I gave the flip flop award to, all of a sudden everybody changed their tune and everybody voted no on it. Okay. So
Sir, I did not vote no on that. You know I didn't.
Okay.
You come up here and tell a story like that, I'm going to interrupt you.
I'll dig it up and bring it to you next time. Okay.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, indeed, sir. I'll bring a copy of the VCR I got from the tape with your talking with Mr. Rosen about calling that one gentleman off of ARP, the name you called him. Okay. So I know you sat there and you said you didn't do that either. Okay. Yeah. Now let's go back to another thing. Okay. Let's take a look at the Brookhurst Triangle. Okay. How much money has that cost us? You guys sat there and played around with this for how many years, and it's costing us money. Turn the damn thing into a park, okay? You're not doing no good with anything else. At least we're paying for it. Put it in a park. Put something that would work for us, okay? You want to take the project here for the parking lot? Let's put it over there by City Hall. Let the project people that live there over there by that restaurant, what is it, old Black Angus, and let them fight with City Hall employees for parking, okay? Somebody said about cutting back the project from 100 units to 28, 30, whatever it is. That may be, but the footprint of that project is the same as it was before, okay? Doesn't make no difference how many units. So don't make it look like it's been brought down, because it hasn't. It's the same size, okay? Enough of my stuff tonight. I'll catch you next time around. Thank you.
Ed Portillo. We have an Ed Portillo here?
We have several cards. Hi, my name is Ed Portillo.
You got 5 minutes, guys. You signed up for 5 minutes.
Sorry, my name is Ed Portillo. I'm local council president of LULAC Garden Grove, longtime resident, and I'm here with the state director of California LULAC, Benny Diaz, and he wanted to say a few words.
Before anything else, distinguished mayor and members of the distinguished council members, Mr. Fertan, I just wanted to report to you that after being 1 year in the facilities, we are happy to say to you that we achieved our goals and we succeeded in more than that. That's an example of the things that we have done. Thousands of people have used the facilities, and we not just included it Latinos, but we also include the Asians. We also include the African American community, the Arab and Muslim community, the Jewish community. They have been working very close with us and using the facilities without no charge whatsoever. And every single member of the organization LULAC in the facilities have not received a penny for what they do. And every service that we provide has been for the city, members of the city of Garden Grove. And I'm extremely pleased to introduce the president of the Youth Council, Manny.
Hello, my name is Mauricio Trejo, and I'm here to thank the city for everything they've given us, and especially with the facilities. We've been able to gather about 50 youth from Garden Grove High School, and we've been working on our college applications, financial aid, and we've gathered enough help for us to go to college. We're really ambitious people here in the city, so you guys know that we have ambitious variety of people who come from different backgrounds, different ethnicities. I immigrated into this country, and my goal was to attend a 4-year university, and we want to thank you guys because you guys have provided this facility for us in order to accomplish those goals. Thank you.
And just to finish off, I just kind of want to talk about a little bit what we're doing in the community. Most recently, we had a community toy drive.
And you are who, sir?
Portillo? Yeah, Portillo, yeah. Yeah, we had a community toy drive where we gave away around 2,000 toys to mostly residents in the Garden Grove community as well as in the larger Orange County area. We also reached out and worked in partnerships with the NAACP, whether it be with police forums or just things of that nature. And we also worked with the Arab Muslim community as well. So basically, you know, the city, well, us at the foundation, we work with all different types of communities in order just to foster and just promote civil rights. And one of the other things that we were doing there is that we had a job training program where we trained at least, I guess it was 300 people, right? 300 people. And that's, you know, something that we provide to the service free. I mean, to the city free. And the thing about it is that when it comes to LULAC or our association here in the city is that we do everything, you know, volunteer basis. There's no paid staff. You know, it's just us, you know, giving our time and effort because we have a love and we want to serve the greater community of Garden Grove. In fact, you know, I was talking to an economist the other day. He put it down in a numerical format of how much, I guess, if we were to quantify it in dollar amount, what would be the dollar amount of the services that we provide? It would be somewhere around $285,000 a year. I mean, that's how many volunteers we have there. That's how many people we serve in this community. and we do it because we love to do it. That's from the bottom of our hearts. So before we, I guess, since time is going out, what I wanted to do is I wanted to give you guys a certificate of appreciation for giving us the opportunity to serve the city of Garden Grove. All right.
So basically what he's giving to you is a certificate on behalf of LULAC, and also an invitation to attend a Valentine's event in Garden Grove, and also an open house that is going to happen in February the 21st here at the center. And we have invited people from every corner, from all political views, because I think, we have to open the arms to everybody. And again, we are very grateful for everything. So anyway, thank you very much for the time to allowing us to speak to you. And again, Mr. Fertal, especially to you, you have done a lot for us, and with Mr. Marquez, we are very grateful to you guys. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Charles Mitchell.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council and staff. My wife, Diane, very much wanted to be here this evening to speak to you. She is very adamant in her love of Main Street and wanting to preserve it and help the business owners on Main Street to maintain and keep the parking on the east side. Unfortunately, she was not able to be here because I just brought her home from the hospital yesterday. She was in for surgery, and she, as I say, feels very strongly about Main Street, but also she wanted me to express her appreciation for the fact that you are trying to promote transparency in the dealing with the problems that are coming up regarding Main Street. Now, I looked at a map of Garden Grove and looked at the size of the parking lot on the east side of Main Street. And it occurred to me that frequently when I go to get in my car with my partner and drive around doing code enforcement, that there's a parking lot on the west side of City Hall that's adjacent to a now closed bank that's across from the police department. And looking at that parking lot there and the amount of space and the fact that the street on the other side has an island in the middle of it, that street is very seldom used and could probably be reduced down in size to a two-way street. And that would be more than an adequate space for as many condominiums as Mr. Sheldon would like to build. So I think maybe that might be worth taking another look at. Then he can build them as high as he wants, up to 5 stories, which would match the other buildings in the area, and the condominiums would be very close to our park and other facilities like the library. So it might be a good alternative if somebody can look into the possibility of maybe switching his targeting of that parking lot on Main Street and looking at the other one over on the east side of City Hall. And a lighter note, I don't know if any of you have noticed, but the world is being held captive by the threat of terrorists. And today's newspaper, there was an article that showed there is still justice in this world. It seems that one of the jihadists was teaching a class on how to be a human bomber. And in doing so, he managed not only to blow himself up, but 22 of his potential jihadists, as well as injuring 20 more. So it just goes to show that maybe somebody up there is watching out for us. Thank you.
Alex Medina.
Good evening, Mayor Broadwater and the City Council and staff. My name is Alexis Medina.
Hello, I am Adelina Aviles. And I am Daisy Ramos.
And what we're gonna we just wanted to talk to you guys about a project that we just recently had called the Sticker Shock. That was a great success. And what we have here are just a couple of folders with pictures and more information as well.
Thank you.
And we just wanted to explain a little bit more about the programs that participated in the event. And one of them was United Keystone. And United Keystone is basically a teen-driven leadership program within the Boys and Girls Club, which centers around community service.
And another of the clubs that participated was Friday Night Live, which is a club at Santiago High School. What they do is promote healthy living and raise awareness against alcohol and drugs.
So what we did was we collaborated with a community service project called Project Path, and along with Officer Nate Morton from the Garden Grove Police Department Traffic Division, and with his help, it enabled us to not only assure the local liquor stores and 7-Elevens that what we were planning to do was both okay and approved. So what we did was we got permission and we got in communication with these local liquor stores, and we were able to get access to not only put the stickers but to also go behind the refrigerators and place these stickers on the alcohol beverages that allowed us to warn people about the dangers of drunk driving as well as selling alcohol to minors.
We felt that by doing the Sticker Shop project, we would be able to raise awareness to our community of how easily it is for teens to obtain alcohol and to demonstrate the consequences that it is to sell alcohol to minors and to drive under the influence.
The 6 locations that we were able to do the event were at actually 4 7-Elevens located on Fairview Street, Garden Grove Boulevard, Harbor Boulevard, and Euclid Street, and also as well as ABC Liquor on Hastert Street and DBQ Food and Liquor on Harbor Boulevard.
So what this was, it was a great opportunity for us to voice our concerns against the dangers of drunk driving, especially as teens. We are greatly affected of the detrimental consequences of being influenced by alcohol abuse in our community.
It also helped us, well, personally me, it helped me gain the opportunity to see how easily alcohol is accessible to teens in our community, and it seemed very important to raise this awareness because in our community we don't think that that alcohol is easily to obtain, but it is. And by doing the Sticker Shop project, we were able to put stickers on the alcohol and show that there is, we need to do something to stop, driving under the influence and to stop, to prevent teens from being able to get alcohol so easily.
Going off of what they said, it was also really interesting just to read the statistics written on the stickers if you guys saw them right now. Just the cost of DUI, how many years you can go for selling to a minor and community service involved. Also, as teens, as Alexa said, we are greatly influenced, so it's just kind of going off, making a statement to the community, and if you guys noticed, it was right before Super Bowl and winter formal, so interesting to see how the results will turn out.
So thank you so much for your time, and Thank you.
Thank you. JJ?
Mayor, council, hi. Girls, I'll drink to that. Seriously though, that's tough for me to follow. That's imagine. That's awesome. I'd love to see all this passion about Main Street. It's been a long time since we're talking about Main Street, and hopefully in a good light. My family's been owner of Azteca since 1978 when she originally bought the property. And I just want to commend you guys thank you guys to think about this program about reimagining Garden Grove, because that's pretty cool. Because I think she would have liked that. I know I like that. And I just wanted to thank you because it's probably the best thing that's happened to Garden Grove or to Main Street in a long time. Normally we're talking about Main Street in a negative light sometimes. And it's nice to imagine, because if Imagine Garden Grove takes off, or Imagine Downtown takes off Main Street, then that means it's going to be a good thing. It's going to be a community event. And whatever Imagine comes to, whether it be condos or tennis courts or what have you, I'm probably going to be all for it. So with that in mind, thank you so much.
Thank you, JJ. Taylor Perez.
Hello, hi Mayor, City Council and staff members. My name is Taylor Perez. Please don't build the condos on Main Street. Main Street is like the heart of Garden Grove, and without a heart you die. If you get rid of Main Street, then it's like killing residents and population. When I grow up and have children of my own, I would love to show them Main Street and the beauty of it, like the pretty lights and sunsets, and tell them the history of it all. And the ugly fence over there, what are you going to do with that? And the parking structure over by like the Bank of America and Subway, if you guys build the condos, it probably won't get finished because that parking structure isn't finished, and it's very ugly. And a very important question is why? Why are you doing this to our community? Why are you killing us? Why? Thank you.
Joy McLeach.
That was such a darling presentation that I hate to change the subject. Good evening, Councilman and Mayor. I actually am bringing a problem to you. The street of Lamson is being decimated. It is just being totally destroyed. Yesterday, a person was driving their automobile on Lamson, and I understand that one of the steel plates that has been put there by the company that you employed to redo Lamson and to put in water pipes and sewer things that were desperately needed, has done such a horrendously bad job that Lamson is almost undrivable. The person who was driving their automobile, as I understand, since the fire department and the police department were called because his automobile had fallen into one of the areas where I believe a steel plate is supposed to be, and had broken the axle, and he was trapped in his car, as I understand. I only know that because I was not there personally. I live right off of Lamson, and I have to drive that street. and I usually drive that street down quite a ways, but the area that was supposed to be fixed by your company, whatever company that is, was supposed to have this done. It was the flashing lights told us that it would be done from September to December. I think we've passed December. And it is still undone, and I don't know how much longer it's going to be. And it is dangerous to drive on that street to the automobile owner and to the automobile. I want to know, who is this company that has been employed to decimate Lamson? And why is he being allowed to prolong this time that is making Lamson just absolutely undrivable? First, who is he? How is he going to be allowed to take the whole year? How much longer is he going to take? I think I'd like to know first how this businessman was employed, and is he going to be allowed to destroy other streets in Garden Grove? Could you answer those questions?
We can certainly have the people that involved in that answer those questions for you. For us, basically, we really don't know who they are right now, but we certainly will look into it, and somebody will get back with you, somebody in the city manager's position, and they will tell you all about what's going on and how soon we will get it done and what problems we've had there.
I know you've had a lot of problems, and that's obvious, but not only is he digging up the street, but when he's filling in the area, he's filled it in so that you cannot drive on part of it. You must drive on the side of the street that is supposed to be for parking, because your car cannot stand the jostling and obviously nobody wants to fall into the steel plates that are inexpertly put down there. I think this is something that the council and the city of Garden Grove should investigate and be aware of and correct.
I didn't use the word investigate, but that's exactly what I just told them to do.
Okay, when is this going to be done, Mr. Broadway?
Well, somebody will be looking into it tomorrow.
Good. We'd like to hear about it.
You will hear about it.
Good. And I hope we'll get something done about it.
I hope so, too.
How long are you, I want to know, are you paying him extra? Is the city of Garden Grove my tax dollars, because I've lived here for over 40 years and I've owned several properties in this area. My tax dollars are being used for this, and I want to know if he's being paid extra for the longer time that he is taking in order to complete this job that is being so poorly and so hazardously done. Okay?
Mr. Matthew, Mr. Fertel, would you give her some kind of an answer for us, please?
Tomorrow.
You can give me some answer tomorrow.
Yep, we
I'd
have
also
your
like
name and con- yeah.
how was this company selected?
I've got a long list of things that you've asked for.
Okay, fine. Thank you. How was it selected? How much money does it cost? And how much more money is it going to cost? And what about the people who have their cars damaged? Are you paying for the damage to their car?
We'll try to answer as many of those as we can.
I understand there was also an accident where one of the cars actually broke its axle on hitting some of the holes that are in there, and that the city of Garden Grove paid this person to have his car repaired. So I think there is a very, very definite need that needs to be seen there. Thank you.
Thank you.
John, W-I-E.
Thanks.
Wheater.
Yeah.
Good evening, Mayor, Council staff. Thanks for having me up. My name is John Weeder. I was born and raised in Garden Grove. Been here, I live on Main Street for the last 14 years. I own 3 properties on Main Street with my family. My dad purchased the first building in 1957. I'm here to voice my concern over this parking selling off the parking lot. I think without convenient, adequate parking, the street will die. Parking is the lifeblood of businesses on the street. I've already felt it through some of my tenants asking to shorten their leases in case this thing goes through with losing their parking. I have a couple of questions. First, how much is the parking lot? I'm kind of interested in buying it if that's up for sale. But and my other question is, does Garden Grove really need more condos and apartments? The city seems very dense and congested already. The whole formula of open space plus condos plus traffic signals equals revenue is kind of sad. Lacks of imagination and vision. And I think that's the things we need right now. I'm all for the reimagined Garden Grove, as long as it's not reimagined Garden Grove or downtown with shoehorning in condos wherever they fit. I'm not an out-of-town developer who views Main Street as some investment property to be flipped when convenient, with no care or concern for the community. This is my home and my life, and to me, a family legacy. I would like to see this project not just shot down, not just when you get a chance to vote, don't vote no, just vote never on this, and we have to send a message to say our city's not for sale. My family and I take great pride in our properties and try to do what's best for Main Street and the community. We have invested a lot of time, money, blood, sweat, and tears to make a difference here on Main Street, and all of our hard work and dreams will be killed by a project that lacks vision and just a revenue source for a greedy few. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Scott Weimer.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Council, and staff. Thank you for having us here tonight and the opportunity to speak. Again, I represent the Garden Grove Downtown Business Association. That's a group of business people, myself being one of them, who own property and businesses on Main Street and have been around since 1953. When we saw this come up on the agenda, I do have to say that we were very, very surprised and very pleasantly pleased. I think it's a very good idea, and that sentiment is shared with most of the individuals on Main Street to at least postpone the project. And I appreciate your comments and your leanings towards that as well. And as much as I would like to buy the parking lot, I mean, maybe you can offer it up to John and me. Maybe we can both buy it. I don't know. Probably not, though, because I'm on a firefighter pension from the city of Garden Grove, so I'm really not in the financial.
You want to buy two parks?
No. But your comment about the merchants purchasing the parking lot, this is not the first time that this has been considered. Back in 1955, before the city was even incorporated, the businessmen formed the Downtown Business Association with the intent of forming the parking district. They went to the county. They couldn't get any lands from the county, and they couldn't get anybody to donate them to them. So they elected to tax themselves with a tax override on Main Street to the highest amount allowable by law, so that they could accumulate the monies to actually purchase. And then they did purchase 7 parking lots to the east, to the west, to the north, and to the south. They bought those parcels. They developed those parcels with their own monies, and that was Vehicle Parking District number 2 in the county. Now, later, when the city became incorporated, the county transferred those deeds over, and the mistake the individuals made was that they didn't create their own charter or anything. They just went under the California law, the 1943 Parking Lot Act, which stipulated that if you're going to follow our rules, then you have to vest the properties in the name of whatever legislative body has jurisdiction over that geographical area, which was the county at the time. They never figured in a million years that the county would steal their parking lots. And I don't know what happened when those lots were ultimately transferred over to the city for safekeeping, for guardianship, for care, for concern, whatever. But they did establish the parking commissioners also, the parking commission. And that was in existence before this city was even incorporated as well. And those parking commissioners, by law, had complete supervision, charge, control, and management of their parking lots that they had accumulated, that they had purchased, that they had developed, leveled, asphalted, and had taken care of all these years. And 3 of the 6 parcels that are on the west side over there are those actual lots. Now, we've lost lots over the years. Long before I was here, they lost a lot over where the Office Depot is. They lost the 2 lots on my side when you guys gave them to the, not you guys, but when the city of Garden Grove dedicated them to the college for use. We no longer have those lots. They had a lot right here next to City Hall, of which we obviously don't have any longer either. And that's the reason that most of the individuals who are still on that street, especially the ancestors, John's father, who was around at the time, last time when we went to battle to try to save the parking lots or keep the parking lots under our supervision, care, and management, and so that we could utilize them, were here. Malcolm Pecor, the Zlackets, many of those family people were here at that time when they formulated that parking district and created that parking district. Now, a lot of things have happened since, and when we fought to save them last time and were less than successful, unfortunately, City Council, I don't know if that was staff-driven or elected official-driven, I would hate to even ponder that, but you guys know what happened. You abolished the parking district and confiscated what few lots remaining that we had, and I won't say put them in the city's name because they were always in the city's name, but that was not the intent. The intent was to provide parking on Main Street, and those guys actually bought those lots years ago. So that's why we're a little sensitive about the parking issue. We do look forward to working with you guys on the reimagined Garden Grove. We think that's a great thing. We're very enthusiastic about seeing staff express interest in dedicating the resources, the time, effort, and energy towards revitalizing our downtown. It's been a long time, probably about 40 years since anything major has been done down there. Many of us are on the site. We're providing feedback, and we think that it can be a great opportunity for all of us to work together for the betterment of the community downtown. But please, please don't take the few remaining parcels of parking that we have left. We appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Keith Riley. Keith, are you gone? Thank you, Keith. Lynn Shaw.
Good evening, everybody.
Speak into the mic, please.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Some of the things I was going to say have been covered and questions have been answered, but you'll see me at city council meetings and at neighborhood meetings, and you'll see me delivering flyers, but you'll rarely see me speaking in front of an audience, which is obvious. But I'm here to let you all know that I care deeply about what's been done and continues to be done behind closed doors and with promises broken. We're here tonight because Main Street matters to us. Please listen to us, and please stop the bulldozers and the chainsaws, at least long enough to show us something about what the city plans. This is kind of outdated already since you've decided to put the action on hold while you do exactly what I've asked. And please practice what Mayor Broadwater asked for the council to do at the last meeting, which is proceed with civil communication and transparent government. Thank you.
Thank you. John Holm.
Gentlemen, lady, oh, she disappeared. Gentlemen, thank you for having us here today. I'd like to say that I'm a resident of Garden Grove. I've lived here 35 years. My wife and I have a house on Lamson Avenue, and we consider the downtown area to be a real treasure. Relate a story to Steve. Our daughter was very young. Every weekend we went over to the park and to Main Street, and I taught her the colors, anthocyan xanthophyll, chlorophyll, carotene. And by the time she was in kindergarten, she knew those colors. She ended up graduating from USC, magna cum laude. So I consider myself, I consider this to be a treasure. I consider Main Street to be a treasure. We love it. We're willing to work with you and do anything we can to improve the lot of Main Street. Thank you.
Thank you. Cheryl Armstrong.
Good evening, Mayor, staff, and City Council. Probably in the wrong order, I'm sorry. I am here to discuss what we called 10 years ago the Gilbert Caper, and now we have what we call the Main Street Caper. Naturally, we're all very gratified that you have decided to put this project on hold. For all intents and purposes, as far as I can see, the parking lot was just outright stolen from the merchants. What was I going to say? The parking lot was stolen, and we don't know why, but we've been discussing it. Oh, I know. How come it ended up one night part of the parking district, and the next morning it was part of the housing authority? And we've had several meetings over the last couple of weeks trying to figure out what in the heck is going on, because obviously there has been no transparency, although you do promise to have that now. But we were wondering, well, why was it in the housing authority? As far as we understand, the housing authority is a place for low-income housing and apartments. So we're confused. It'll take us a while to find out more facts, but we will be able to dig them out. Thank you for putting it on hold, but keep in mind that we are going to be watching every move. Also, vision and imagination don't always come naturally to people, but it can be learned. There are two entities going on. There's Main Street, and then there's your Reimagining Garden Grove project. The oddball here is the condominium project in the parking lot. That just does not fit. So my suggestion and my hope and prayer is that Reimagine Garden Grove will include a vibrant Main Street, and some of us folks in the neighborhood association are going to do things and get together, and like John Wildsmith was saying, we're going to do some fun things on Main Street that are family oriented, and we need to do our part to also make Main Street a fun place, a destination, get people to know about it, and it is a treasure. Have the vision and imagination to not destroy something that is old, been here a while, and so many people care about. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Andrew Halberstadt.
Mayor, council members, staff. About the Hogue thing, I know two ladies that are deeply involved with the Hogue board, and I hope that that dig wasn't too deep.
You're the one that sent me the email, not me.
Okay.
I like that building down there. I mean, they beat up on me about the hotels on Harbor Boulevard, and I get to show them what the private sector does.
I see. Well, I'll be around for the Reimagine and hopefully for whatever happens there as well. So I think you and I might get to know each other. Thank you all. Preemptively, I know I run the risk of looking like a fool because you might vote in the other way, but thank you for voting in favor of item 6J. I think that it's a very wise decision. I think it's highly prudent to deal with it in such a public way. And I honestly hope that tonight is the moment we can look back on where we can say that the residents, elected officials, city staff, all began to actively and willingly engage each other in improving the city. And I think the Reimagine project is a good place to start. So thank you.
Thank you. Josh McIntosh. What?
Was I number 22?
Are you number 22?
22 cards?
I don't know. There's a whole bunch. There's a whole deck.
I think you said 22. Symbolic, Mr. Garden Grove. 22 freeway.
It's really strange how you always appear last.
I know. Save the best for last. So I wrote you a new song. So this one was like the Tina Turner song, We Don't Need Another Hero, but it's We Don't Need Another Condo. But I'm not going to sing it. I don't think I need to. No.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
I know. So anyways, I'm Josh McIntosh. I'm a fourth-generation resident, a member of the Garden Grove Neighborhood Association, member of the Garden Grove Business Association, Downtown Business Association, that is, member of the Garden Grove Historical Society, and if you throw Garden Grove on it, I'll probably try and be a part of it. I go to the Garden Grove Library, whatever. Okay. I want to remind everybody that Valentine's Day is right around the corner, this Friday. I hope that many of you have chosen to buy in Garden Grove and support our local businesses. Whether you're buying flowers and candy for your sweetheart or planning a dinner date, we have several local florists, great restaurants, and shops that sell unique gifts. If you're not into calling this a Hallmark holiday, let me suggest your Pat or mine on Main Street Garden Grove, where Lisa's got all these one-of-a-kind cards she's handmade. Go check those out. Be original. And I'd also like to say I'm thankful that Valentine's Day doesn't fall on the same day as City Council this year. For those of you that were here a few years ago during Valentine's Day, I'm sure you're all happy too. I'll be happy to be spending my day with my sweetie Kathy this year. So I'd also like to invite our local high school seniors and college students to participate in the Orange County Historical Society's annual historic essay known as the Freeze Pioneer Award. Each year, the Orange County Historical Society offers a $500 scholarship to students who complete an original essay on the topic of Orange County history. Students that would like to take advantage of this offer can go to www.orangecountyhistory.org/awards to get more information and submit their essay, or you can hit me up on Facebook. As a member of the Orange County Historical Society and a member of our Garden Grove Historical Society, I feel more than obligated to share this opportunity with our young authors and future historians. So get busy on writing those papers. I'd like to thank our city for coming up with item 6J, staff. I'd like to thank all the residents, business owners, and everybody that got behind this effort to so quickly put a change to something that was in motion, and we are greatly appreciative of your decision tonight. I'm speaking ahead of myself, although I've never seen you vote against staff's decision in all the years I've been paying attention. So this is somewhat of a day to celebrate. My only concern is in the wording of this. To whom will we not be discussing the land transfer to? Will we not be discussing this with Sheldon? Will we not be discussing this with the public? Who will not be speaking with whom? And how would we ever know if someone is discussing this? That just kind of worries me. And of course the thought that it is coming back. After Reimagine, it's going to come back and we're going to all be back here and we're going to do this again. That's the only bummer.
You don't know that.
Okay, I should certainly hope so. Lastly, I'd like to ask the mayor to close tonight's council meeting in honor of a longtime Garden Grove resident. Isabel Miller was born in Anaheim in 1919, and her family were some of the first German settlers that founded the village of Anaheim. She met her husband, my great-uncle Bob Miller, at a school dance at Santa Ana College. They married in Garden Grove in 1940. They raised a family here. They built their own home here, where they lived for nearly 70 years. They owned a large orange field at the corner of Nelson and Stanford, along with other family members. That eventually became the St. Columbans Church. Bob passed away in 2012, and Izzy has now joined him. Her funeral service was yesterday. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, at this time we'll recess the city and go to the Successor Agency.
Thank you, Mayor. We'll call the February 11th meeting of the Successor Agency to order. Madam Clerk, would you like to call roll?
Member Broadwater?
Here.
Member Wynn?
Here.
Member Fogg?
Here.
Vice Chair Beard?
Here.
Chair Jones?
Here. We already did oral communications simultaneously with City Council, so consent items, which is basically just the warrants. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second. Call the vote.
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
We have no public hearings, no items for consideration. Any matters from members? Seeing none, we will adjourn back to council.
Okay, at this time we reconvene to council. We're going to go to consent items.
Move the items.
We're going to pull it, or
Now let's pull it.
I'd like to pull 6J. And move the balance.
We have a motion to move the balance.
Second.
Call for the vote.
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
Let's go to 6A. Anybody want to speak on it?
6J?
6J.
J, yes.
Okay. Yeah, just a quick comment. I think it's a good process of having the input of the citizens here tonight. Very valuable, very important. You may be a business and you may not vote, but you have a voice. And your voice was heard loud and clear tonight, which was good. I have to make one thing crystal clear. We have not, are not in the process of selling the property, correct, City Manager?
That's correct.
And with the reimagining, we're at a great stage to reconsider whatever use for that property down the road. So as far as I'm concerned, it's a blank canvas. We're moving forward with the imagining of this area. Tonight we've heard such words as imagine, preserve, plan, vision. And parking is a prerequisite to good business, make the lifeblood of a community. So that's going to be a serious consideration down the road for the use of that property. So I think it has the best use right now since it's not being sold, and it is supporting the businesses, and I want to continue to support the businesses in any way, and I think the Imagine project will also do the same. I'll be supportive of that, and whatever supports the Downtown Business Association, Main Street, the treasure. I agree wholeheartedly with that comment. I agree with the young advocate, Taylor, but I have to correct you on one thing. We are not killing. We are not here to kill the city. We're here to preserve and promote and protect and build on the city. I think we can do that as a community all together. I remember from my years on the Planning Commission, we have to work together. I believe in property rights. This is still America. But on the same token, whoever it impacts the most should have the biggest say in how it impacts them. So I always consider that on the Planning Commission. I've always considered that as a council member. And so you were heard loud and clear. I'm glad we're going forward with, or not going forward with any use of what other than its current use of the property. Thank you.
I just want to say that you're not a fool to come up here and speak. If you feel deeply about and sincerely about your city and you want to speak about what's best for your city, you can't ever be a fool for doing that. And the people who are here tonight to speak, and all the nights that we have public sessions, I have to say they're very brave. They have to take time out of their schedule. They have to think about what they talk about and come up here and be in front of the camera. That's something that you need a lot of courage to do for some of the people who are afraid of speaking. We have a city of 200,000 people almost, and there's about 30 of you here today very concerned about Main Street. And I, too, is concerned about Main Street. My family and I visit Main Street a lot. And if I didn't go there, I wouldn't know. The car show is very interesting. Before I moved to Garden Grove, I didn't know that those classic cars have like squeaky clean engines inside the cars. I mean, you don't even see dust in there. It's like a display model. I don't know how they keep it so clean. I wouldn't know about Sackett Market, where they have very fresh meat And I wouldn't know about the Main Street Cafe, and they have the best ribs there on Friday night. I wouldn't know about Azteca. They have good steak. I like steak there, even though they're known for their Latino menu. And two of my favorite nonprofit in Garden Grove, the Hope House, and then the other one is kind of like a training ground for some of the young kids in Garden Grove, and it's run by Rosa Avila. She was a former school district member in Santa Ana. I like all of the businesses in Garden Grove. Oh, I don't want to forget Scott Weimer. I like your building. I like the service you offer to Garden Grove, and the fact that you're a retired firefighter. You're part of us, and you're still part of us. Anything that occurs in Garden Grove that affects Main Street is very important to me. So it's important to me that to put projects in there that doesn't destroy Main Street, that doesn't destroy the basic characteristic of Main Street. So I think putting this off is good, and I think that a hearing from the citizen is good. So I would be voting yes on item J tonight.
Yeah, I'd just like to take advantage of an opportunity where everybody's paying full attention right now to talk a little bit about Reimagine Downtown Garden Grove and what it really means. So I've heard people call it different things. I think everybody has a lot different perception of it. So just to kind of maybe put it in perspective and give a little framework on it, because I've been involved very actively in every step of that process up until this point, and it's right on the cusp of starting to become more public with focus group meetings and so sort of community outreach to solicit input from the public. But, I mean, going back probably a year and a half or even a couple years ago, our planning staff started working on this. It's a visioning process. It's not a project. It's not a whatever. It's a visioning process that attempts to take inventory of where we came from as a city, where we're at, and where we'd like to be at some point out in the future, and with a specific focused look on the broader downtown. So not just Main Street, but call it from 9th to Nutwood and Garden Grove Boulevard to Lamson. So that broader downtown core that includes the Civic Center and Euclid and the Village Green Park and the whole kind of auto/industrial use area to the west of Main Street and whatnot. So looking at that whole area and saying, it's geographically, it's the center of our town. So this concept actually started out being called the center of town before it was branded or before it was named Reimagine Downtown Garden Grove. So it said, how do we reimagine the center of town? How do we make it a more attractive place to be? How do we better support the merchants and the restaurants and the shops that are already there? And how do we attract ones that people say they want to come in the future? So it's supposed to be a fresh new way of approaching this by implementing a planning process that reaches out first to the community and solicits a lot of input, a lot of creative ideas, and then trying to incorporate those into an actual usable document. So proud to say that we applied for a grant through SCAG, which is Southern California Association of Governments. They're a regional planning body. We were awarded a $200,000 grant based on our application, which we called Pedals and Feet. Has to do with looking at our downtown area. How do you make it more connected, not just within downtown, but from outside to get in? How could you get people from West Garden Grove to downtown on a bicycle, for example? And how do you get more people out of their cars and out walking around? How do you get more bodies walking around on the street more? How do you bring the existing parks to life more and so forth? So how do you bring back the gardens and the groves of Garden Grove? How do we create a new sense of identity that builds on where we came from in the past and has capacity to expand as our population has and will continue to in the future? So it's all those things, and it's a clean slate, and I welcome everybody to please get involved actively and participate in that process. Thanks.
I'd like to give a little credit where credit's due. A week ago Sunday night, Jones came over to my house and said, Bruce, how do we get rid of this problem? We're going to get rid of it in a minute. So I make a motion that we pass it.
Second.
Call for the vote.
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
I need to take 5.
We're done with the meeting if you want to.
Yeah, you really are.
If we limit the comments at the end.
Okay, let's take comments. Matters from the mayor. I have no matters. Go ahead.
Oh, I want to wish everyone a happy Valentine's Day, especially my wife. It's my one opportunity to profess in public my love for my devoted wife. I'm a lucky guy, and so Cheryl Beard, I love you dearly. Have a great Valentine's Day. Thank you.
In my culture, the women don't say those things. The men say it to the women. So, anyway, please remember to buy in Garden Grove for your Valentine dinner or lunch or date in Garden Grove. I won't be in Garden Grove for Valentine's Day, but I will be buying in Garden Grove and taking the gifts to my relatives out of town.
So wishing everyone a very happy Valentine's Day. It's going to be a great first one for Cindy and me as husband and wife. We're actually going to go to the LULAC dinner, the Valentine's Day dinner, over at what's the restaurant? The Casa. Yes, on the corner of Chapman and Harbor. Yes, that's the one. However, unfortunately, it's not in Garden Grove, but close enough. Anyhow, I also want to remind everyone that actually this weekend on Saturday we're having a grand opening for the Hester Street Basin, which is like a park reservoir at 10 a.m. in the morning. So you're going to come by if you have any young ones, or you want to come by and see what the new park's like. Please do come out. Thank you.
Steve.
I don't have anything.
Okay, I really don't have anything either. I just wanted to go through this as quick as we could this evening, and I thank everybody for not speaking for hours upon hours, and so thank you very much. I would like to close the meeting in the name of Josh's great aunt, Isabel Miller, and sounds like she had a wonderful life, years she lived, and we'll close in her name. Good night.